we've always talked about our future here in America. So now him telling me that he's going to take over his dad's business is a bit of a shock.
Back to Dublin, do the training, and then I can come back and work from here. Which isn't ideal, but you know, my plan is to come back and we'll spend the rest of our lives together.
You know, I know this definitely hurt Tiffany's soul here, because last week's episode of the Diaries, she came out with the idea of the fact that she was going to propose to him simply because she wants Ronnie to move to the United States. So therefore they can stop doing this whole 3 month on, 3 month off, due to, of course, how the visa works when you do visit America on a visitor's visa. You're only allowed to be there for 3 months and you have to leave for probably like a week or two, whatever, and then you can re-enter. But either way though, all of that is nothing but a massive stress. So of course she was like, I'm about to propose to this man. She even had a guy write her a song of what she was going to sing, how she was proposing to him. The whole thing was just, yeah, it was going to be a whole performance. But of course, things have now changed because, well, she's now recognizing that her man needs to go back to Ireland for a bit. Why? Because, well, he's got a family business to run. Yeah, that must have stung, but let's get into it.
Now I'm questioning everything, which really sucks. Can't help but think that this might be his way of taking a step back from our relationship. I propose now, I mean, not with so much in the air at the moment. So I think the best course of action would be to take a step back, a few months, and go from there.
Come on, cheer up. Everything's going to be good, but okay.
But just like many people in this world, any form of rejection is rejection when it's not. Obviously, he's just saying that he's got priorities right now. He's got a family business that he obviously has to look after. He has to take charge of, because that was always a part of his family's. It's the life that he was born into. That's the one. You know, and he was more than happy to follow the lead of obviously doing that. I mean, listen, here's the thing: when you obviously decide to match with someone that is from a different country, there are so many factors that obviously you have to take into account. But here's the thing, though: despite all the factors that you have to take into account, there is always going to be factors that are going to blindside you that you are not going to see coming. And this is one of those things where you're just not going to see it coming. But to be fair, between Tiffany and Ronald, if any one of them was going to see this coming, it was going to be him over her, because he knew that one day he would be taking the reins of the family business. And really and truly, this is something that I would imagine he would have addressed at the beginning, or maybe should have. But at the same time, though, sometimes you think that even though you're taking over the family business, you may think in your mind that I won't be doing it until set amount of years from now. But here's the thing: sometimes things can change, and sometimes you're required to do it sooner rather than later. So again, these things are things that do become unexpected. But at the same time, let's not forget what Tiffany says and how she feels. She feels as if that maybe this is his way of now slowing things down, of him maybe trying to actually say that his interest in her isn't exactly what she thought it is. In fact, last week she asked a question, if I propose to him, if he says no, then it's going to let me know that he's obviously not into me as much as I am into him. And I guess this is why she's obviously feeling this way, with that already in the back of her head. And she's not wrong to think that, because she may be right. That may be the situation. And unfortunately, sometimes when these things happen, some of us run to thinking about it in the worst case scenario rather than thinking about it in a better case scenario. But at the same time, I guess the reason why we do that for the most part is to protect ourselves. Because if we prepare ourselves for the worst, but then when the worst comes, it will still hurt, but may not hurt as much. But when you prepare for the worst and then the good comes, you can really enjoy the good even more. I guess that's one of the pros of preparing for the worst rather than for the best. But, honestly, this is one of the situations where I don't think it's fair to ever say to someone that you shouldn't necessarily prepare for the worst. Nor should you ever say to them, nor should you say, nor do I think it's bad if you say to them, you should think about this in a good way, that maybe it's not that, because really and truly, this part of life, you just got to prepare yourself in the way you think is going to protect you the most. You see what I'm saying? Okay. But without projecting it to the other person, because if you are somebody that is now thinking about this in a negative way, but you're now projecting it in a negative way, that's where things go south. But if you think it alone without projecting it, to protect yourself, you do what you got to do. But either way, though, as of right now, Tiffany will not be proposing to this man. The question is, where are they now? Well, I guess I have to wait and find out, whenever that may be. But with that being said, thank you so much for your time, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.